Hey, what's up, 49ers faithful? We're back again with another packed episode, diving deep into everything that went down this weekend with our San Francisco 49ers. And let me tell you, this game meant everything. Coming into this one, the Niners were facing a ton of pressure after that ugly loss last week. You could feel it in the air. This was the moment to respond, to show that this team still has the fight, the grit, and the identity that made them one of the most feared squads in the league. And boy, did they respond in a big way. The 49ers rolled into New York and left with a much-needed statement win, reminding everyone that they're not going anywhere. The NFC is wide open right now, and this was the kind of victory that not only steadies the ship, but might reignite their entire season. The final score doesn't tell the full story. This was one of those games where the offense clicked, the defense tightened up, and the coaching staff had their guys ready to play. You could see right from the start that Kyle Shanahan had a point to prove. He said earlier in the week that the loss to Houston was embarrassing, that they got punched in the mouth, and that he couldn't wait to get his team back on the field. Well, this trip to New York was all about redemption. The Niners put up 34 points, over 380 total yards, and showed a level of balance and control that we hadn't seen in weeks. They were efficient on third down, sharp in the red zone, and looked like the team we all expected at the start of the year. Jones, stepping in and continuing his unexpected rise, was steady and composed once again. He threw for 221 yards, spreading the ball around beautifully. One of the things that stands out about him is how well he runs this offense. He's not trying to be the hero, not forcing throws, just executing the system exactly how Kyle Shanahan wants. It's almost like watching a point guard running the fast break. Everyone gets involved, everyone gets a touch, and somehow the ball just keeps moving forward. Jones connected with 8 different receivers, keeping the Giants' defense guessing all afternoon. Christian McCaffrey was his usual dominant self, piling up over 100 total yards and a touchdown, doing damage both on the ground and through the air. Every time the ball touches his hands, it feels like something good is about to happen. Now let's talk about the ground game, because that was the key to the entire offensive rhythm. Shanahan clearly came in with a plan to pound the football, and it worked perfectly. The Niners ran it 39 times for 159 yards, averaging just over 4 yards per carry. That's the kind of commitment to physical football that wears defenses down. The Giants came into the game ranked dead last in the league against the run, and the Niners made sure to exploit that weakness. McCaffrey did his thing, but how about Brian Robinson stepping up with some tough, bruising runs, including that incredible 18-yard touchdown where he bulldozed a defender on his way to the end zone? That was vintage bully ball right there. You could feel the energy shift after that play. The offensive line got fired up, the sideline erupted, and it was clear this team had rediscovered its identity. What made this win even more impressive was how the defense responded after a rough opening drive. The Giants came out moving the ball, looking sharp, and you could almost feel that nervous energy in the crowd, like here we go again. But once the defense settled in, they started to control the line of scrimmage. The Niners gave up under 300 total yards, just 179 through the air, and held New York to 5 of 12 on third down. That's the kind of bend-but-don't-break performance that championship defenses deliver. You could see guys flying around, communicating better, wrapping up tackles. The fundamentals were back. It wasn't perfect, but it was progress, and that's exactly what this team needed right now. Still, it wasn't all sunshine. The big concern coming out of this one was the knee injury to Mike Williams. You could tell right away it didn't look good. He went down awkwardly trying to bring down Jackson Dart late in the fourth quarter, and the fear is that it could be another ACL tear. Just brutal news if that's confirmed. This team has dealt with so many injuries on the defensive front that it's starting to feel cursed. Nick Bosa gone. Mikael Williams may be gone. Bryce Huff and Yetur Gross-Matos battling hamstring issues. It's unbelievable. And that's why General Manager John Lynch has to make something happen at the trade deadline. You can't just keep losing defensive ends and expect the same level of dominance. Reports have already surfaced that the Bengals might make Trey Hendrickson available. And if that's true, the 49ers should be on the phone right now. A player of that caliber could completely change the complexion of this defense moving forward. That's the kind of move that not only fills a hole, but energizes the locker room. Imagine adding Hendrickson to a front that's already getting contributions from guys like Clelin Ferrell and Keon White, who quietly had a strong debut. That would be a statement that the 49ers are serious about making another deep playoff run. And they should be, because at 6-3, they're right in the thick of it. The offense is finding its rhythm. The defense is stabilizing. And once Brandon Ayuk and Ricky Parrall return, this team could be even more dangerous. The NFC picture is wide open. The Eagles are strong, sure, but everyone else is beatable. The Lions have cooled off, the Cowboys are inconsistent, and the 49ers just prove they can dominate when they play their style of football. And let's not overlook Jones again, because what he's done deserves real respect. Think about this. Back when the signing was announced, how many fans rolled their eyes and thought the season was over? But 7 starts later, Jones is 5-2 as the Niners starter. 5-2. That's not a fluke. That's leadership, execution, and belief. He's not flashy, not making highlight reels every week, but he's doing exactly what's asked of him, and that's winning football games. He's reading defenses better, making quick decisions, and keeping the offense on schedule. That's what Kyle Shanahan has always wanted from his quarterback, someone who can operate the system with precision, not panic when things break down, and let the playmakers do their thing. It's not about hero ball. It's about trust and rhythm. Right now, Jones is both. You could see that chemistry building throughout the game. McCaffrey catching passes out of the backfield. Jawan Jennings making tough grabs in traffic. George Kittle working the seams. Even role players like Jordan Watkins and Kyle Juszczyk contributing on key plays. Every guy who got a chance made something happen. That's the beauty of this offense when it's firing. It's not just one star carrying the load. It's an entire unit clicking together. And it all starts with that balance, the commitment to the run, and the discipline to stay patient until the defense cracks. This was one of those games that reminds you what the 49ers are all about: toughness, execution, and resilience. They faced adversity, injuries, and outside noise, and still walked out of New York with a double-digit win. It's not just another game in the standings. It's a message to the rest of the conference that San Francisco isn't going away quietly. They're built for this. And if John Lynch can make one more big move to bolster that pass rush before the deadline, this could be the spark that sends them back to the top of the NFC. The win was big, but the statement was even bigger. The Niners are back in business. And what's crazy is that it could have easily gone the other way if this team didn't show heart. Early in the season, the Niners looked like a powerhouse. Then came the injuries, the inconsistency, and that shocking loss to Houston. Everyone started to question if they were for real. But this game in New York showed that this team still has the backbone of a contender. The offensive line was more physical, the defensive front started creating pressure again, and the play calling looked confident. Kyle Shanahan didn't just call plays to survive, he called plays to attack. He trusted his quarterback, he trusted his run game, and he made adjustments that worked. That's the version of Shanahan that 49ers fans want to see. The aggressive, creative coach who can outsmart anyone across the field. You could feel the shift in energy after that first touchdown drive. The sideline woke up. Guys were smiling again. The communication was sharper, and the swagger that seemed lost in previous weeks started creeping back. Jones, who has quietly been one of the most composed stories in the NFL this season, continued to play within himself. He's not trying to throw 70-yard bombs. He's just taking what the defense gives him, spreading the ball around, and letting his weapons do the heavy lifting. That kind of discipline is rare, especially for a guy who wasn't even supposed to be starting this year. He's turned into a steadying presence, someone the locker room rallies behind. When you see veterans like George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey dapping him up on the sideline, that's chemistry money can't buy. And that chemistry translated on the field in a big way. Every drive felt deliberate, not rushed, not panicked. The offensive rhythm was back. Short passes, strong runs, play action that kept New York guessing. You could tell Shanahan was dialing up plays to keep the Giants' defense on its heels, mixing up power runs, screens, and motion-heavy sets that opened up lanes. Even when the Giants tried to stack the box, the Niners stayed committed to the ground game. That patience paid off as the game wore on, with McCaffrey and Robinson both breaking off key gains late in the second half. That's the identity of this team: physical, disciplined, and relentless. But despite the win, the reality is that San Francisco still has problems to fix. Losing Mike Williams could be devastating. You could see it in his face as he limped off the field, the frustration, the disbelief. It's like this defense can't catch a break. Every time one guy steps up, another goes down. That's why the trade deadline has become the biggest storyline of the week. John Lynch has built this roster on aggression, not hesitation, and now is the time to prove it again. There are names floating around, Trey Hendrickson being one of them, and the Niners have to pounce. You can't waste a season where the offense is finally finding its footing and your quarterback is playing clean football. Go get another pass rusher. Rebuild the depth. Send a message to the locker room that you're all in. And let's not forget the defense did have its bright spots today. Tatum Thun was flying all over the field, finishing with 16 tackles. Upton Stout and Ronaldo Green made key pass breakups that killed New York's momentum. The line got pressure at the right times, and while the Giants did manage a few chunk plays, they were held in check when it mattered most. That's the mark of a defense regaining its confidence, bending but not breaking. You can see it in their body language, the way they celebrate each stop. It's that team energy that drives great defenses, not just star power. What's encouraging is how balanced this team has become again. A few weeks ago, they were leaning too heavy on the pass, trying to win games with splash plays. But now, they've gone back to their roots, controlling the clock, owning the trenches, and forcing opponents to play their brand of football. When San Francisco does that, they're almost impossible to beat. They don't need to be flashy. They just need to be themselves. And the moment they start dictating tempo, games start to feel inevitable. That's what happened here. By the fourth quarter, you could see the Giants wearing down. The tackles were getting softer, the linebackers were slower to fill gaps, and the Niners just kept pounding the rock until New York had nothing left to give. And you can't overlook the emotional aspect of this win. These players knew how much this game meant, not just for the standings, but for their pride. Shanahan said earlier in the week that the loss to Houston stung because it wasn't about talent. It was about toughness. This team was out-muscled, outworked, and that sat heavy in the locker room. So, coming out today and playing smash-mouth football, especially on the road, was a statement of who they still are. It wasn't just about the scoreboard. It was about proving something to themselves, to their fans, and maybe even to the rest of the league, that this is still the San Francisco 49ers, and they're not done yet. Now the focus shifts to what's next. 6-3 looks good, but the NFC picture is still a grind. Every week matters. The 49ers can't afford another slip-up, not with teams like the Eagles and Cowboys lurking. But the way they played today, with that balance and fire, gives you real hope that they're turning a corner. The schedule ahead is tough, but they've built some momentum at the right time. And if John Lynch can pull off one more move to reinforce that defense, this team could be peaking when it matters most. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the NFL, whispers around the league suggest that star wide receiver Mike Evans has officially parted ways with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and is reportedly set to join the San Francisco 49ers. Sources close to the matter say that negotiations between Evans and the 49ers have been progressing rapidly behind the scenes, and while neither team has issued an official statement, the buzz is impossible to ignore. Evans, who has been a cornerstone of Tampa Bay's offense for over a decade, is no stranger to headlines. His combination of size, speed, and sure-handed reliability has made him one of the most feared targets in the league. However, rumors have been swirling for months that the Buccaneers were considering a shake-up of their roster, and Evans' name frequently surfaced in trade speculation. The timing of this potential move coincides with San Francisco's push to fortify their receiving core ahead of what many expect to be a championship-contending season. Insiders hint that the 49ers see Evans as the perfect complement to their dynamic passing attack, pairing him with their already explosive playmakers to create a nightmare matchup for defenses across the league. Social media has erupted with fans speculating about how Evans' signature deep threat ability will fit into head coach Kyle Shanahan's scheme. Some analysts argue that Evans could instantly become the missing piece that propels the 49ers from NFC powerhouse to Super Bowl favorite. Meanwhile, the reaction in Tampa Bay has been a mix of disbelief and disappointment. Teammates and fans alike have grown accustomed to seeing Evans haul in crucial receptions in high-stakes games, and the prospect of seeing him in a different uniform has left a palpable void in the Buccaneers' locker room narrative. Questions now abound. Who will step up to fill the leadership role Evans leaves behind? How will Tampa recalibrate its offense without their longtime star? While nothing is confirmed, the murmurs continue to intensify. NFL insiders are watching every move, every tweet, and every meeting, all trying to get a sense of whether this is a done deal or just the beginning of a dramatic saga. If it happens, the league may be witnessing one of the most headline-grabbing transitions of the decade. One thing is certain: wherever Mike Evans lands, the NFL landscape will never be quite the same. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.